A father and son had to travel out of town for some business. During their trip, they needed to find a hotel to stay in. It was during their stay at this hotel that they encountered a mysterious dead body in their room. This discovery made it impossible for them to continue staying there. Before we dive into our scary story, we would like to ask everyone to like and subscribe to support us in continuing to bring you more terrifying tales in the future. This story is about an incident that happened to Brian and his father when Brian was a teenager. At that time, his father took him on a business trip to a southern province. Since the province was close by, after finishing their business, his father told Brian that they would find a hotel to stay in for the night and then head back the next day. After driving around for a while, they found a hotel in the district. The hotel wasn't very big, probably around 2 stars. His father went inside to check in and got the room key. Their room was on the 4th floor. After checking in, a staff member offered to help carry their belongings to the room. However, since they didn't have much luggage, his father declined the help and decided to carry it himself. They then walked into the elevator. What was even more surprising was that when the elevator reached the 4th floor, their room was right in front of them. The room door and the elevator door were directly opposite each other, which is considered bad feng shui. At that moment, neither Brian nor his father thought much about it because the hotel had many guests, and the surrounding area was quite populated. When they entered the room, they saw that it was quite small. Just a few steps in, there was a double bed. The bathroom was on the right, and beyond the bed, there was a window. Outside the window was a small balcony that couldn't be accessed. Brian didn't understand why the hotel had built it like that. Time passed until late at night. They hurried to finish their personal business and turned off the lights to sleep. Before they could fall asleep, something strange happened. Suddenly, there was a loud banging on the window from the balcony outside. The banging continued repeatedly. Brian and his father looked at each other. They didn't think about ghosts or spirits. They thought someone might be knocking. His father told Brian, "Go check who's knocking this late at night." Brian got up slowly and walked towards the window. However, there was nothing there. If someone had been standing and knocking, it would have been impossible because the balcony couldn't be accessed, and they were on the 4th floor. Brian hurried back to the bed and told his father, "Dad, I don't know what that noise was. I went to check, and there's nothing strange." At that moment, his father looked uneasy but tried to calm Brian by joking, "Maybe it's a ghost. Good thing the lottery is tomorrow. If we see it, I'll ask for the winning numbers, and you can eat whatever you want tomorrow." His father laughed dryly, and Brian knew that his father was starting to get scared too. His father told him to go to sleep quickly since they had to travel early the next morning. They then went back to bed. Now the outside noise had quieted down, but as he was dozing off, suddenly there was another knocking sound. This time it didn't come from the balcony but from under the bed. Both he and his father were startled. They both sat up on the bed again. Before they could say anything, there was a loud banging from under the bed. This time it was very clear. It was definitely coming from under the bed. Both of them quickly stood beside the bed, and his father told Brian to lift the mattress. When they lifted it, they found 2 large plywood boards underneath. At that moment, there was another knocking sound, and the plywood visibly shook. His father still didn't believe it was a ghost and thought it must be some animal inside. So he told Brian to open the plywood to see what was inside. Brian slowly reached for the plywood and quickly lifted it. What they saw shocked both of them. Under the bed was not an animal, but a human corpse in an advanced state of decomposition. His father grabbed Brian's hand and said, "Run!" His father quickly grabbed the car keys and room key, and they both ran to the door. But as soon as his father opened the door, instead of rushing out, he stood still, looking shocked at something outside the door. Brian, confused, asked, "Dad, why aren't we going out?" But his father remained silent, rushed back into the room, and slammed the door shut. At that moment, Brian and his father looked back at the bed, where they had just seen the corpse, but now it was gone. His father quickly took Brian to hide in the bathroom. The bathroom was quite small, and as they entered, Brian stumbled, hitting his leg on the bathroom floor, causing it to bleed, and it seemed like his bone was broken. However, at that moment he didn't feel any pain, just numbness. He was so scared that he forgot about the pain. His father, equally terrified, tried to remain calm. Then there was another knocking sound, this time on the bathroom door, a series of rapid knocks about 5 times, then it stopped, then it knocked again. His father told Brian not to be scared and to stay put. Noticing that Brian's leg was swelling, likely due to a broken bone, his father broke the curtain rod and tore the curtain into strips to splint Brian's leg. Once finished, the sound from the room door moved to the bathroom door. It was a loud banging, as if someone was trying to break in. The sound continued for about 3 or 4 times, then stopped. That period felt like over 20 minutes, but for them, it felt like an eternity. Both father and Brian remained in the bathroom, waiting to see what would happen. Suddenly, there was a shout from outside. "Sir, are you all right?" Brian and his father were unsure if the voice was human or something else. His father told him, "Wait here, I'll go check." He slowly opened the bathroom door, looked left and right, seeing nothing. Then he cautiously opened the room door and saw it was a hotel staff member. The staff member asked if they needed help, saying he heard a noise like someone falling. Relieved, his father explained what they had experienced. The staff suggested, "Calm down first. Let's go downstairs and collect ourselves. I'll help you with your bags." The staff then went into the room to get their bags while Brian's father helped him walk. They slowly moved towards the elevator, and the staff pressed the button for them. As soon as the elevator opened, they rushed inside. But instead of joining them, the hotel staff placed their bags inside and said, "I can only help you this much." Then the staff member's figure slowly faded away right before their eyes. At that moment, both of them stood in shock, watching the elevator doors slowly close. The elevator then descended to the ground floor. His father hurriedly guided Brian out and straight to the lobby. Despite his father's frustration with the staff, he had to take Brian to the hospital first due to his injured leg. After the doctor examined Brian, his father left him to rest in the hospital and drove back to the hotel, determined to get some answers. He confronted the staff, demanding to know what was going on in the room they had stayed in. The staff seemed reluctant to provide any information, simply stating, "I really don't know. I've only just started working here, and this hotel has been open for 25 years. It was around 5 in the morning by then, and his father wasn't willing to let the matter drop. He called a friend who had some influence in the province. Shortly after, his friend arrived, and his father recounted the whole story. Knowing that they couldn't take legal action against the hotel for such matters, his friend decided to reach out to a local contact to inquire about the hotel's history. As soon as the contact heard the hotel's name, he immediately said, "Did you stay at that hotel? Don't you know there was a death there?" He explained that previously, a male couple had checked into the hotel. They had an argument that escalated to the point where one strangled the other to death. The killer then covered the body with a bed sheet and hid it under the bed to conceal it. During the process of hiding the body, a hotel employee came to deliver food they had ordered. The employee was shocked to see what was happening. The man offered the employee a substantial amount of money to keep quiet about it. Needing the money, the employee reluctantly agreed. The man assured him that he would receive another sum the next day. After pretending not to see anything, the man quickly checked out. The next day, when the employee noticed that the room's occupant hadn't checked out, he went up to investigate and found the body under the bed. He immediately called the police to handle the situation and investigate the murder. The body was removed, but the following day, another incident occurred. The employee who had accepted the bribe decided to hang himself. In front of the hotel entrance, there is a red pipe used for fire extinguishing. The employee hung himself from this pipe, leaving a suicide note that read, "I feel guilty for pretending not to see the death in the room. Even though it happened right in front of me, I regret deeply helping such a bad person." The police concluded that this guilt led him to take his own life. This incident became a major news story at the time. Despite everything, the hotel remains open to this day.